So how do wealthy people go broke? Well, everything happens slowly, then all at once. It's pretty rare for me to see someone with between $2 and $5 million actually go completely bust, but these are the types of people I work with for my day job. Usually they're about 60 years old, they're getting ready to retire or already retired, and most of the time these people are comfortable. You'll hear that a lot. What's the difference though between being fine and not fine? It's a lot finer than you think, but I see people fall into this trap all the time, and the signs are very common. And while you might be in this category, you only really have your own situation to reference. You have friends and family who are in a similar position, but you don't really know the numbers, at least to the extent that I've seen people over the years. So I wanted to share my experience and what you can look out for, and look out for if you are in this category. Let's get definitions out of the way. Rich is going to be someone who is retiring with between $2 and $5 million. I think that's doing pretty well. I'll link the Bureau of Census data below. I think it's generally somewhere regarded as like the top 5 to 10% of people in the country that if you have that amount of money. Broke, it's really rare to see someone in this category go bankrupt. I've only come across one instance in my career where someone with actually a lot more money than this actually went bust, but they were dealing with a lot of issues and they were actually afflicted by all four of the things I'm going to talk about on the next page. It was a really sad situation. But broke, I mean, it's more common that you see people like just downshifting their lifestyle. We're going to skip a trip this year. We're going to not do business class flights, that sort of a thing. And the main driver of this is this quote down here. It's easy to spend income. If you make a high income, you're a professional. It's not hard to spend that money for most people. It is very difficult to spend principal or your assets once they're invested. And I see this time and time again. All right, the first one I want to talk about is actually counterintuitive, and it's a windfall. If you are pushing retirement and you get an exponential increase in your net worth, usually this comes from selling your business to your other partners or private equity, and say your net worth goes from $1 million to $5 million. A lot of things happen to you. It feels like it is going to continue. You also feel pretty good about yourself. The hot hand fallacy, it kind of applies to this situation too, but people can fall into that trap thinking that they are better than they are, they're a better investor than they are, and they can spend too much money. It's easy to do when this happens, and it can wreck people. Certain types of people are susceptible to it, and the next category, this type of person is more susceptible to it than not. The next cause is materialism. You've always heard that, but I will tell you, seeing clients versus flashy clients versus non-flashy clients, the people pulling up in luxury vehicles and are wearing designer clothes always have less money than people that are just totally unsuspecting. You would never guess in a million years they have what they have. It is true time and time again. I know it's trite, but trust me, 99 out of 100 times, it is dead on. Now, there are those exceptions where people are they have a lot of wealth and they like to show it off because they just like it, but a lot of people are trying to compensate for something that they are lacking by having these nice, showy, expensive things. Trust me, materialism is a good sign that someone's not doing as well as they look. Next one is investment mistakes. I've seen this literally cost tens of millions of dollars by a single decision. And it comes down to this. When you're working, you're converting your human capital to financial capital. And it takes a long time. Most people work for 40 years. When you have your financial capital in one place, you can make decisions about it. One decision can impact like 40 years worth of work that you've accumulated and built up. And that immediacy can lead to huge swings in the value of your capital if it's the wrong decision. So investment mistakes, yeah. You got to know what you're going to do, have a plan before you make some of these decisions, because they're often irreversible and easy to do. So the next one I drew is a fire to represent addiction. It can start very small and then quickly become unmanageable. I've seen this show up in a few families that I've worked with, and it doesn't matter who is afflicted by the addiction in the family. It always spreads to impact everyone, and it creates a situation where it's very hard to live in abundance and surplus and a wealthy lifestyle when you have this kind of thing show up. One, it costs a lot of money to deal with certain types of addictions. We've all seen this personally or secondhand. Emotionally, it can just wreck relationships faster than any of the other three combined. It's quite destructive. If you see it show up or you recognize it, it's imperative to try and stop this behavior before it spreads any further. So, what can you do to protect yourself against all of these horrible things? One, for a windfall, just recognize it for what it is. It's a one time windfall. Do not get full of yourself or think you are better than you are. Hard to do, easy to say. Materialism, I think, from what I have observed, either people are materialistic or not. Maybe ask a therapist or someone else about that. Buy and sell decisions, you absolutely can do that. And the telltale sign is if you feel sick, queasy, and upset when you're making a decision, that's a telltale sign that you are panicked. And if you're panicked trying to make an investment decision about years of your human capital that you've converted into financial capital, you're likely going to make a very poor decision. So don't make it. In addiction, recognize how destructive and horrible this can be, truly devastating to your family. And if you recognize it, do not underestimate and take it as seriously as possible. Try and get it resolved very quickly. I hope that's helpful. Subscribe for more retirement planning content, and we'll see you later. Bye.